Bhagwan અસીમ જય જયકાર હો.
દાદા ભગવાનના 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 અસીમ જય જયકાર હો.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ
જય
દીપકાનંદજી પુલિનાનંદજી સર્વે માતાઓ
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ દીપકાનંદજી પુલિનાનંદજી.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
જય
જય
સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
સચ્ચિદાનંદ લલિતાબેન
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ અરુણા.
જય
Pulinanandji? Pulinanandji?
હા.
Can you do three mantra, please?
નમો વિતરા ગાય
નમો વિતરાગાય
નમો હરિહંતાણમ
નમો હરિહંતાણમ
નમો સિદ્ધાણમ
નમો
સિદ્ધાંત.
સિદ્ધાણમ
નમો આયરિયાણમ
નમો આયરિયાણમ
નમો વજ્રયાણમ
નમો વજ્રયાણમ
નમો લોહે સવ સાહુણમ
નમો
નમઃ
સાવણમ
એસો પંચન મુક્તારો
એસો પંચન મુક્તારો
સૌ ભાવ પણાસણો
સૌવપાવપણાસણો
મંગલાણંચ સૌવે સેન
મંગલા
મંગલાનસ્ય સર્વેષેન
તમામ હવૈ મંગલમ
પરમં હવૈ મંગલમ.
ઓમ નમો ભગવતે વાસુદેવાય
ઓમ
ઓમ
નમો ભગવતે વાસુદેવાય.
ઓમ નમઃ શિવાય
ઓમ
ઓમ
નમઃ શિવાય.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
Jai Satchidanand.
જય
So,
સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
Mahatma, last time we decided to talk about our everyday issues with Mann, Vachan, Kaya, burning issues, how we settled it or we were not able to settle it. Any feedback? Okay, Kashyap bhai.
Yes, Jai Sachyan. First, can I ask one question? Then maybe I share one experience.
Okay, and then you can talk about your issues, okay?
Okay, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I will share one.
Yeah.
This is May 24th, Dada Vani, page number 29. Yes. This I also have the Gujarati. Later I can share it also. The title is Free of Doubts, Free of Fear, Free of Association, and finally Moksha. It's actually when we give Gyan that the entire parliament gives its signature unanimously. Otherwise, it is not likely to refrain from creating a ruckus within. The intellect expresses contention, other entity will express contention. The chit expresses contention. They collectively create an uproar. However, this is approved unanimously. So one becomes free of doubts. One's real form as the self is without doubts, free of doubts, and this nishanta, state free of doubts in relation to the self, gives rise to nirbhayata, state of fearlessness, and a state of fearlessness gives rise to asangata, the state of being free from all associations of the mind, speech, and body. Asangta itself moksha. The self itself is asang. Self definitely is asang. Then one can remain as the asang swarup. Yeah. And also it says, with that state free of doubts in relation to the self, there is fearlessness, constant fearlessness prevails, and because of that one remain asang. So here it says that the state free of doubts is after Gyan is there, and that leads to state of fearlessness, nirbhayata, and then that state of free from all associations of the mind, speech, and body. This asangata I would like to understand. The state of fearlessness gives rise to asangata. That is the thing which I wanted to understand.
Deepakanandji?
Jai Satchidanand. This is a wonderful outcome of the self-initiation ceremony and out of grace of enlightened soul in today's time, Dada Bhagwan, one and only one. And whatever we have today, posterity of Dada Bhagwan is again outcome of his divinity and what he has implanted within all of us. And here it is very well explained how through the initiation ceremony, through his divine grace, what happens is we get implanted as I am pure soul. And so nicely it is explained in this whole explanation that all our inner body self faculties, that is outside speech and body is fine, but mind, intellect, reflective consciousness, and even ego, they have this contention and total determination that opens that I am pure soul without any doubt. So it's like intellect is fully satisfied, fully convinced through that separation science, which is revealed and recited by Dada Bhagwan during that initiation ceremony, and he made us repeat that, follow him. And I would like to explain very briefly what really the science take place. It was because of his divine enlightened state, inner enlightened state of pure soul as Dada Bhagwan. What really happens is he makes us recite. And he had said, while performing that ceremony, that you clearly listen to what I say, and you have to only repeat like a parrot. Don't try to understand what it means. You might have heard, you might have read, you might have contemplated, meditated, and all that, all these years and all these lives. But it is for you to remain fully focused on what I say. So listen carefully what I say and just repeat like a parrot. And whatever you say, ultimately you also listen to what you have said. I mean, the way you follow him. And in that state, his enlightened state becomes ours during that 1 hour initiation ceremony. And the outcome of that is our mind, intellect, reflective consciousness, chit, and ego in total devotion and surrender. It accepts, and that doubtlessness opens out of grace at the end of the ceremony, and with total conviction and decision, everyone says who gets benefited by this initiation ceremony as I am pure soul with total conviction and decision. So that is that doubtlessness which was previously on our body self, name bearer self, as I am Deepakanand, I am name bearer, which shifts and forever it remains as I am pure soul. That is doubtlessness for one's own self identity, which happens to be the real identity. And after that initiation ceremony, the body self, name bearer body self remains, and it is identified and recognized as a relative body self. That is relative, and pure soul is real, and that is where this separation is implanted perfectly within us. And as precepts, primary two precepts, it is said, I mean, he made us say that by relative viewpoint, I am name bearer body self, and by real viewpoint, I am pure soul. With these two viewpoints, which he has said, without these two viewpoint, the world, without this two viewpoint, world get dissolved. That's why he has said the world is a puzzle itself, not by itself. The world is the puzzle itself. And there are two viewpoints to solve this puzzle, one relative and other real. Due to this acquisition of his grace and this initiation, separation, science, ceremony, this doubtlessness opens out of grace. And now, through following of his precepts, the 5 precepts what he has given, that doubtlessness opens within us by our own self-effort. So one doubtlessness is, I'll explain, one doubtlessness opens out of his grace, and that works passively. In the sense, if someone asks us, hey, who are you? Then we will say with clarity, with total conviction, as I am pure soul. And that is what, where if someone asks, but under the karmic pressure, discharging karmic suffering, this awareness becomes passive. And it is not, we are under the potent influence of that, the pressure of the suffering, of the karmic effects. And that is where we have to remain and follow the precepts with which this doubtlessness opens within us by our effort through the following of his precepts, which is called doubtlessness. That is, that awareness remains even in that pressure of the karmic suffering.
Yeah.
The outcome of this doubtlessness is, there is always fear of what will happen, what if this happens, what if that happens. With that third precept, that everything is within the boundaries of the control of the universal cosmic power of Vyavasthit, what he has so nicely revealed, which he had seen and experienced, and that experience he gave us as precept. Out of that understanding and sticking to that third precept, that whatever happens, it is through that operating power of the universal cosmic power of Vyavasthit Shakti, the power of Vyavasthit. And when that happens, that fearlessness naturally opens, that what's going to happen? Everything and anything is going to happen and will happen within the boundaries of these cosmic power operation only. And that which was projected in the past life.
Yes.
So that pressure, that burden, that tension, that worry is not there. That's why we come to that worry-less state, tension-less state, and that happens to be that fearlessness. And that is the biggest aspect, because this fear make everyone do wrong things and ultimately end up in causing new karma. But here, that causing of new karma or building new uh, cause is impossible because of your inner convinced state that I am pure soul with total conviction and decision. So this doubtlessness gives rise to our state where there is no causing of new karma. Number one, the outcome of this is fearlessness of whatever happens in my body self, name bearer side, because everything happens in that part only, and I become fearless. And ultimately, when I understand the science and the absoluteness of this universal cosmic power of Vyavasthit, when it comes to my total understanding through the following of the third precept and the fourth precept, that is settling of my accounts, my relational account of give and take, the outcome of that is I experience total absolute separateness, what is said in our local Gujarati language as asangata, or in Hindi also it is said. Asangata means total separateness. Everyone's ultimate experience is of this total separateness, absolute separateness. And that is why it is said that everyone's final experience is same, but everyone experiences this separateness in the context of his relative name bearer body self.
So
This is a wondrous
Yes.
thing that really happens with everyone. And that is why everyone's experience is same of separateness, absolute separateness. And this is how through the precept, first through the initiation ceremony, this thing take place out of Dada Bhagwan's Dani Purush divine grace, and through the following of his precepts, 5 agnas, this state of absolute separateness gets experienced, and that is finality of everyone. And then ultimately one gets liberated, gets ascended towards moksha, rather two moksha.
Correct.
Jai Satchidanand.
They are saying, despite living amidst terrible associations, the Nisankta, Asankta prevails. This also please explain a little bit.
Come again?
Despite living
As fearlessness arises, one remain asang. That's what I said, that because of this fearlessness, because that fearlessness is beginning. When absolute fearlessness opens, that results into asangata. Amidst all association, that is amidst association of mind, speech, body, and related karmic suffering. Did you understand?
Yeah, I got it.
So that's why, despite living amidst terrible association, isn't it? Not just terrible, I will say cutthroat situations, very trying situations of extreme likes and dislikes, hatred, that nisangata or asangata gets experienced, that total separateness, and that remains, prevails, means that will be experienced. And in principle, it is there. But even in our worldly life situation, active life situation, even amongst trying situations, competition, comparison, and whatnot, hatred, this gets experienced. And you overcome all these weaknesses gradually as you understand the power of universal cosmic power, which operates everyone's relative body self. So one understanding also opens that all the settling of these accounts is between the relatives of different individuals. Nothing happens between the pure soul. Pure soul within everyone remains absolutely separate as it is within me in and in others, and rather in every living being. But this doesn't get experienced, and only through this initiation ceremony and out of grace only that happens. And that's how we ultimately experience that.
And then he says that the intellect, chit, mind, intellect, chit, and ego, they come to the conclusion that this is the self. They don't come to any conclusion. They always
reason. The reason is intellect is the power of pure soul, light of pure soul, divine light of pure soul through the window, tainted window of egoism. And that is why that intellect always favors and supports the ego only. But when through this initiation ceremony, the direct light of the enlightened soul of Dada Bhagwan and in his very divine presence, he makes us recite the separation science between the body self and the pure soul self. The intellect becomes silent. It cannot uh, push or forcefully do anything. And that's how even intellect gets subsided, because in the presence of the direct light of pure soul, through which that enlightened soul make us recite the separation science, the total separation science between the body self and the pure soul self, this happens naturally.
They all come to one unanimous conclusion. They
Yes,
say
that I am pure soul,
yeah,
with total decision and
that
conviction.
is the Shaikh Samkit, the permanent convincture of the right belief that
And
I am.
that's what is called Shaikh Samkit, permanent conviction of the right belief as I am pure soul, which is called total conviction. With total conviction and total decision, I am pure soul. Period.
Usually this antaskaran, this mind, intellect, agree, ego, they don't come to any conclusion. They don't agree with each other.
Not possible. That's what I said. The light of intellect is light of same pure soul, but through the medium of egoism, which is tainted by selfishness. So naturally, that light is the operating light without this enlightenment.
Usually
And
they
when this
always
enlightenment takes place, that is direct light of your soul touches you because of the presence of Dada Bhagwan. In his very presence, we are reciting the differential science between the body self and the pure soul self.
Usually these four things are always fighting with each other, but here they are unanimously.
Yes, that is the unique experience and the outcome of the grace of the enlightened soul Dada Bhagwan. There are no words to explain that. In fact, it is grace, and we can only to certain extent we can give an explanation, but it is only grace function. And for every time, for anyone, and for every time, these enlightenment take place out of grace only, not by anyone's individual self-efforts.
Yes,
you see the whole history, and that's why it is said it is, and it will be through the grace of a living enlightened soul only. And even I will say, even in this posterity, after Dada Bhagwan passed away, his physical body is not there. But the same light of Dada Bhagwan, he has implanted within us, and that is working, and that's how people are getting benefited even today. Jai Satchidanand.
Pulinanandji?
And I think everything is really covered up, nothing much to add. I think in the reading of the Dadavani, 3 words have come: conviction, the entire antaskaran, mind, intellect, chit and ego are convinced that I am pure soul. Then the second word was fearlessness, because when the I is convinced that I am not the body but I am the pure soul, so it becomes fearless that nothing is going to happen to me, and whatever events will unfold in my life, they will unfold based on scientific circumstantial evidences or Vyavhasthit Shakti. So that leads to fearlessness, absolute conviction of who am I leads to fearlessness. And the third word was asangata, or separateness. Now asangata is it's a unique word, a unique thing describing the state of being of the soul and body. And what it really means is that although I am associated with the body, I am inside the body, I am close to the body, but still I am separate from the body. Sang means company or association. So the soul, the pure soul, is associated or in close association with the body, physical self. But I, in spite of being close to him, I'm separate from him. That means the pure soul, in spite of being in close contact with the body, is separate from the body. That is what Dada Bhagwan is trying to say in asangata, or separateness. There is a fine gap, very fine physical gap between the pure soul and the body, although the pure soul is within them. So what they say is, asangachu, or I am separate, and although I am in touch or company of the or associated with the body, I am separate from the body. That is what Dada Bhagwan is trying to say. And earlier I was the name bearer, so I was the body. Now I am the pure soul, so I am separate from the body, physically separate from the body. That is the thing that asangta is trying to tell. The word asangta is trying to convey, I am separate, physically separate from the body. So that is what the 3 words really mean in that paragraph. Jai Sachin.
Yes, Sachin.
Okay, Mahatma, this is a
Jai
very
Satchidanand, just a minute. I'd like to thank Dr. Kashyapji to bring this out so nicely. Your hard work of self.
All grace of Dadaji. And
That's fine. We all everything is out of grace of Dadaji only. But your personal self effort to know, understand, and really understand this science is great. Thank you so much. Jai Satchidanand.
yeah, one experience I would like to share. This I have a big Mann ego. This tuber, So I tried this one thing, that to thank Dadaji and Aputras and all. Whenever when any success is there, I thank. So actually it is. So that control, I feel that controls the pride tuber, So because otherwise, what happened is that when any success is happened, then the pride goes up, and when failure happens, then pride goes down. That up down is happened, but that experience I wanted to.
Pulinanandji?
Me?
Thanking others, helps in controlling the pride tuber. That is what my experience.
His experience, you want comments on that? Pulinanandji?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. You see, basically 2 things happen. First, I was the doer. So when things go my way, I feel very proud that I did it. Now, as we gradually understand the other science, and as we gradually understand that I am not the independent doer. Many favorable circumstances came together and things went my way according to what I wanted to do. So as gradually we start realizing this I did this, that doership fades away. Especially this comes to the forelight when things don't go our way. In spite of our best of efforts and wishes, when you want to do something and things don't go our way and that thing that we wanted to do does not take place, then we start finding out why it didn't take place. And then we find that because of this reason, because of that person, because of this situation, it did not go. So then it dawns upon us that so many scientific circumstantial evidences or so many supporting evidences come together and things take place. Individually, I don't have the power to do it independently. So failures lead to the realization of Vyavasthit Shakti in operation. And based on that, when things go our way, when we succeed in any assignment or any task, the same knowledge props up that it was not me independently doing it. It was the coming together of so many circumstances that things fell in place and the work which I want to do happened. So out of experience and the absolute knowledge that Dada Bhagwan gives us after Gyan Vidhi, that Vyavasthit Shakti is the doer, you are not the independent doer, you are one of the causes of the doer. Your desire to do something is one of the evidences, and other supporting evidences fructifies whatever you wanted to do. So, out of experience and personal experience of seeing things as they unfold in our lives, and the knowledge of Vyavasthit Shaktis or scientific circumstantial evidences as the doer, this experience comes up. So, the doership aspect, two doership aspects. The doership of I have done this, that diminishes, and the other person has done this, that also diminishes. He helped me, or he spoke rudely to me, he did that. So we start seeing the other person as non-doer, non-independent non-doer. So we see him as fault free or not the person responsible for my suffering. And the second thing is I did this. So that also reduces, and that we call it in Gujarati, we call it garvaras, the sense of pride that I did this. So that also diminishes, that I have not done it. Many favorable circumstances have enabled me to succeed. So as you said, the pride factor, or the real word is garvaras, the enjoyment. Ras means to enjoy and take pride in I did this. So that also fades away. And we start seeing as everybody as a karta or non-doer. Even the self, I am also not doer, and the opposite person also is not doer. So that way it helps us to reduce our pride or the sense of ownership that I did this. And that's how pride gradually diminishes and we just observe what's happening. At times, in major success, the ego feel nice, it'll feel happy, it'll feel elevated when you meet success or things go your way. So that nice feeling will be there. But what will happen is we will not get engulfed into that, will not get entangled or mixed with it. And we'll observe, yes, while one is feeling nice, and at the same time, this Gyan will also remain. Yes, things went your way because of so many supporting evidences. Or at times we may say it went well with the help of Dada's grace, divine grace. So that's how happiness in file number 1, an observation in ourselves, and we will not be feeling proud about it. The pride, man kashai, will gradually reduce. So this is the science that works behind how non-doership leads to reduction in pride. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Kiran. Okay, Matmo, Kashyap bhai, led us to a good theme for our Purusharth of Mann, Vachan, Kaya and everyday interactions and issues and problems. Anybody? Miraben, Shailaben? Any experience 1 week? Okay, Rani.
Okay, Jai Sachidanand, Pulinanandji, Deepakanandji, Mahatmas. If so, I have lots of things just observed that definitely could use basically the homework that was given to us last Tuesday. And I think one that I struggle with is resisting. So I'm not sure if that's for Agnya number 3 or 4, but like sometimes I'll get work assignments and the first thought in my head is, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go there. I don't want to have to deal with this. I've noticed it's like a negative resistance. So I will start there. That's one of my issues. And I have really paid attention that has come up a lot. It even wasn't aware of it until the homework assignment, or how prevalent it was. And so that is my lack of understanding. Is that not settling account, or is that not accepting things as they are? Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. This is always a question in every situation, to do or not to do. But then not to do, as Dada Bhagwan has so nicely revealed, that any negativity is disastrous. So in those situations, if you are not able to make a decision, at the same time you are moved towards no, then you ask few people, your well-wisher, what should I do? Do you think I should go or no? Then you will get your answer. Because not that every time you have to go, and not that every time you don't have to go, but our choice, our decision is primarily based on our likes and dislikes. Even if situations are not really very helpful or useful for our progress, but because we like some individuals, we accept those invitations and we do go there. But at times when it is useful for us, but because of some dislike, some discomfort, we don't agree with that, and you don't want to do that. That resistance is there within you. But here, so first step is, most of the time it is very clear. You have to always ask, what if you don't go? What is going to happen? And what if you go, what is going to happen? Most of the time, our intellect and our resultant vision of, that is parinamic drishti, it can show the results even beforehand it happens. So most of the time, you will definitely get a clear picture about what is going to happen if you go there and what is going to happen if you don't go there. So evaluating the situation based on this understanding, you should be able to make a very clear and firm decision. So, but in cases where decision is obvious, like you have to go, but because of some reservation, you don't go. And in certain places, the decision is obvious that you don't have to go. Then find some excuse not to go. Do you understand that? So it's like someone is, I'm giving a very weird example. Someone is throwing a big party. And you know that people are not going to act wisely over there. Always find some excuse. Oh, stomach upset. I couldn't wake up. I couldn't even walk. And I have taken medicine, I'm resting. Even if you get a call during the party, well, the party is going on, so, hey, why didn't you show up? So, man, I'm really upset. I'm down with this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've taken medicine and I'm resting, which I used to do when those people at our side, one small machine is started, commissioned, and because they want to eat and drink and enjoy, which is not, what do they say, my soup. So I would find an excuse not to go there, but still they've tried all their means. So in the afternoon itself, I tell my the cook over there, having a very upset stomach, do something. He will give me something, and he will only protect me. Oh, don't disturb that guy. He's not well and he needs rest. So this is what likes and dislikes, they do work, but where things are obvious, find an excuse so nobody can claim. And at other places, you know that you cannot say no because you are supposed to be there and you must attend, then attend that place, attend that, so whatever party, whatever gathering is, and understand that was your compulsory suffering. It is called nikachit karma, mandatory karmic suffering which you have to pass through because your absence will cause more trouble than your presence.
Right.
So you can nicely evaluate, at the same time ask few well-wisher and you will get your answer. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Would add, Pulinanandji?
You see, as I understand Rani's question is, there is resistance that I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that.
Mm.
So it is basically resistance at 2, 3 places where you do have to go to an event or a place, or you have resistance to some type of work which you have to do, which you don't like. You see? So that is the gross level. Essentially, it is the interplay of mind and intellect, which says, I don't want to do. That happens when we have preconceived notions of like and dislike. I don't like this, I don't like that, or a waste of time or waste of energy. The waste will come from the intellect, and the like dislike will come from the mind. It's the mind that's play. You see. So we must realize that these are the two culprits which are generating the resistance, which are generating the want to do this. It is preventing you to be in the flow of events. It's preventing you to be in the flow.
Right.
Preventing you to become sahaj,
Yes.
preventing you to become sahaj. Whereas we have to be sahaj ultimately. So the moment mind or intellect says, the ego says, yes, I don't want to do it. So that becomes a sahaj. We don't become flexible.
Right.
So this is, first thing is understanding what is happening, where the dislike or resistance comes from. Somewhere our potapanu is also there, our design or scheme of things, that this is the way it should be done, but that fellow is not doing according, so I don't want to associate myself. So it's the mind, it's the intellect, and it's the potapanu or design or scheme of things that we have set in our mind. This is the right way of things, and things are not right, so I will not go. So that generates the dislike, and that generates the resistance to, I don't want to, whatever, work, activity, attending a place, event, whatever.
Right.
So understanding what's happening, and then the solution to it. As he said, one is a rational thinking that if it is not in the best of my interest, it is going to harm me, then find an excuse and avoid it.
Right.
If you know it. And where it is not so, 50% or more than time, it may not be so, that it is not harmful to you. In that case, it's only resistance. It's pure resistance. It's just a dislike. It's a dislike to the person, or dislike to the event, or dislike to the person.
Yeah.
Those cases, we have to cultivate the habit of not listening to the mind. We have to cultivate the habit of not listening to the mind. Mind may say, I don't want to.
Yes.
But okay, I've noted what you have said, but I will do it.
Right.
Taking a conscious decision to overrule the mind.
Yes.
This is the key. This is the key. The mind may say, thus say, if you do everything according to your mind, then you will never reach your destination.
Right.
And he would give one example that a farmer who has cultivated his crops and then he's taking cultivated crops to the marketplace to sell them. He's taking them in his bullock cart. Indian scenario, not the American scenario. And then he's gradually, along with his bullock cart, he's proceeding from his place to the marketplace and on a narrow road and all. And in the process, if the bullock finds nice green grass little away from the road that they are going on, and if the bullock starts going down the road to eat the grass, what will the farmer do? He will rein in the bullocks, pull the ropes and rein them and bring them on track. So he doesn't allow them to do whatever he wants. He reins them so that he keeps them on track and reaches the destination. Similarly, we have to rein in our mind and tell him nothing doing. I don't agree. Come back over here. We are going over. Going over.
Yes.
So this is to rein in our mind and remaining focused that this is to be done, means this is to be done, means this is to be done.
Right.
This is handling the dislike generated by the mind. We don't give it a free way. We don't give it like room that you can do whatever you wish. No. You are my servant. You are not my boss. The mind, you tell mind, you will do as according to I tell you. I will not do according to what you tell me. So making the mind as your servant and not being servant to the mind is one of the key purushas of Gyan. So this is one thing. And in the process, we have to talk to the mind. You have told me like this, but nothing doing. I am going to do this because I have to square up this fight.
Right.
Because I have to square up this fight. So although you may not like, in the interest of my moksha, I need to square up the fight. Hence I will do.
Right.
So this is telling the mind, in worldly terms, they say avoid procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the worldly. What it really means is not listening to them. Basically, it's not listening to them. This man has a very strong willpower and all. That's nothing but remaining focused on your goal and not listening to the mind. It's called willpower. That's
right.
So that is the one of the ways. And another example of mind management that Dada Bhagwan used to give is that if a bullock is not well and it needs to be taken to the hospital, veterinary hospital, for some treatment and all, bullock will not go. So what does the owner do? He will pull the bullock from the front with a rope across his neck and nostrils and all. And if it still resists, then he will poke him from the behind with some sharp instrument. Come, you have to go. So the other says, okay, anyway, the bullock had to go. But he was goaded and punished and hurt, and then ultimately went.
Right.
Instead, why not straight away go over there without
Yeah.
So tell them, you better come along with us. I'm going to give up, lashing.
Right.
So this is the technique of handling the dislikes generated by the mind and fueled by the intellect. Intellect supports, gives the pros and cons of not going. So you have to tell the same intellect, this is the file and I have to square it up. So I am going. Turn the intellect, from just overturn the intellect in our favor or in the favor of the Agnas and not listen to the mind. Let's talking to the mind and overruling its decision. Nothing doing. Now this will generate unanticipated fears. Somebody dislike, I don't like this. So there's some fears generated, discussion, there's a disgust generated. But if you overrule and do it, and you will find, oh, it was not so bad. It was not so bad as I had anticipated. The work got over. I treated it as a file, and now it is. I've settled the file equanimously. So it was not so bad as I felt. So this will generate or end the disgust which was generated beforehand. Dislike that was generated. So as you start practicing this, and over 5-6 such episodes or events where you have overruled the mind and done it, then you will find it's not so bad. It's not so bad. And in the process, we gain a very big thing. We become masters of our mind rather than slave to the mind.
Right.
When we do effort in the mind, in the middle of the night, I feel like the ice cream. I don't go out and ice cream. No, nothing doing. We'll get to gross ice cream is
Right.
anything good, anything you want to eat. So this will generate the control over the mind, or not listening to the mind if it is not in my best interest. Mind being discharged, it will just thoughts will come out of it based on what we have charged in the previous birth. This is good, this is bad, whatever opinions we had formed. So the mind today is playing out its part. It may not be in the interest of today's Gyan or today's vision of liberation. Today I want to go to moksha, but last birth I didn't want to go to moksha. Last birth I wanted to live a nice worldly life and enjoy all worldly and sensory pleasures. So the mind was formed based on that understanding which I had. The mind was formed based on those opinions at that point. Now the situation in this life birth has changed. Now my goal is to attain salvation, which means I have to square up the accounts in this world.
Yeah.
For people, whatever. And for that you have to do according to the Agna.
Yes.
The mind may not agree with it. The thoughts may not come. It support today's Agna. So that is how, with this understanding, the mind is based on the past opinions which are not in alignment with today's goals of going to moksha. So we need not always listen to the mind because it will not permit me to reach my destination.
Right.
So once we have this understanding at the back of our mind, we'll be able to learn not to listen to it. And once you learn not to listen to the mind, then obviously the dislike will vanish.
Yes.
So that is the same thing as mastering the mind or willpower. And also the same thing is also called sincerity. Sincerity means sticking to whatever goal you have decided. So your goal is of moksha, your goal is of ayagna. So sticking to that, not listening to the mind, which is deviating me from my goal, is called sincerity to the goal.
Right, right.
So that is Dada Bhagwan gave two very big words. That in this worldly life, irrespective of Gyan and in this worldly life, if someone has morality and sincerity, two key words, and if he's practicing that, then I salute that person. Dada Bhagwan said, I will salute. And for himself, he said, I have these two at the highest level. I have the highest morality, I have the highest sincerity.
Yes.
So sincerity also here, to being sincere to Gyan, being sincere to Agnas, and not listening to the mind, where it is does not allow me to be sincere.
Right.
That is called sincerity. So in the process of reining your mind, in the process of not submitting not submitting yourself to the whims and fancies of the mind, I think we become sincere. The quality of sincerity develops. It becomes willpower. We become master of our mind, not the slave of our mind. And we become free from the mind. Basically, the mind doesn't rule us. It may say what it wants. I will not listen. That's so mind is independently functioning. I have the discretion whether to listen to it, accept its suggestion, or reject the suggestion. So we become free from the mind. From the mind. And once that freedom is achieved, it's a wonderful experience.
Amazing.
It's a wonderful experience. So this is where that resistance will slowly go away. The dislike will start. Resistance comes from dislike. Dislike goes, the resistance will go. And then you become sahaj. You flow with the events.
Yes.
You flow with Vyavhar, and that's how your accounts get settled. And more than that, once you start going with the things as they unfold, going along with the situations, the ego also diminishes. I want to go, I don't know, what is that? File number 1 has to go. File number 1 is ego also diminishes. The whole process is discharge. Ego also diminishes. The whole process.
Right.
So just overcoming this resistance has so many dimensions.
Yes.
The mind, the many, many. So that's. I hope this answers the question.
Yes, definitely. This is lots to think about, but it's a complex knot, and if you stop listening to the mind, it has many benefits. And that's really what I've noticed, is that I have not been going with the flow like that, like you said. So I'm going to continue to note this and work on this homework of not listening to the mind.
Give us a feedback. Okay. See how you do that. Okay.
Yes. It's going to be a long assignment, but
basically what happens is, from the relative point of view, what happens is, I'm happy when things go my way. I'm happy only when this will happen and that will happen.
Right.
And if it doesn't happen, I'm unhappy.
Yes.
So now that unhappiness part will vanish away because I'm happy otherwise also.
Yes. That's definitely
so
where
things
that
are my way, I'm happy. Things are not my way. Also, I'm happy because I'm squaring up of purpose.
Yes.
So then, from the relative standpoint of this happiness is the relative happiness of the ego. But then the file number 1 is also at peace in favorable circumstances as well as unfavorable circumstances.
Right.
That is.
Yes.
Yes.
Jai Sachidanand.
Hey, Rani, there is always saying in my office, when you track it, it gets done. So if you track it, you won't feel all this stuff. Okay, Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Sonia Ben?
JSS Apt Pulinanandji, JSS Apt Deepakanandji. I'm sorry, I have a bad cough, so I went and got some Vicks cough drops before I could ask anything. My thing was very similar to what you have been talking about. What I'm struggling with is if I get up at 5 o'clock, I decide to do Pratha Vidhi and do all the prayers, but I invariably start feeling very sleepy. Then I say, okay, I will do it at 8 o'clock, or when the usual prayer time. So I'm struggling to discipline my body. My mind seems to be thinking that it's better to sleep at that time. I'm trying to control or like to train my mind, or try to stick to this and not procrastinate. So that is what I'm struggling with right now. I still feel I'm not doing that purusharth, that getting up. I know I want to get up at 5 o'clock and do it. So that is what I'm struggling with. And so when I do the Pratha Vidhi, and when I say that I don't need is sansar ki koi bhi vastu mujhe nahi chahiye, there's one sentence which comes, and so that's why I wonder why the sleep is becoming more important. So is it just the mind, and how do I get over this?
Vedantji? Vedantji?
May you ask me? Sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't.
Anyone? Yeah, I want to know how to control
See,
that.
there are one or two aspects to this. First thing is, otherwise, if anyway, normally you're doing it at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Do you want to do it at 5 o'clock?
Because I have more time at that time. 5 to 6.
Because you have more time, so you can do it peacefully or slowly.
Yes.
See, there are two things. One is either you gradually go upwards. Instead of 8, you do it at 7. That is, you're training the body. You're training the body to get up early and do it. And then from 7, it becomes 6. And then from 6, it becomes 5. That is one approach. Because if the body is physically not able to reschedule a big 3-hour jump, that is one possibility. Gradually going up. Other thing is, what is the benefit of doing at 5 o'clock is what your intellect has to be convinced, you know. So if you tell the intellect, yes, see, I'm more free, I'll be able to do it with full concentration in the presence of the chitta, that is being. And as Dada Bhagwan has also said, that 4 to 6 is ideal. That is hours before sunrise, essentially. The point is that. So at that time, there's a lot of peace around. In the sense, the world is asleep. And when the world is asleep, there are no vibrations. You know? And in that, you're able to, so that, and in that period, a person is able to concentrate and all his divine prayers reach the divine deities, you know, all the Devi Devatas reaches them very. So if we are convinced that by doing earlier, I have my advantage that I have more time and I will do it slowly, and it is a nice environment. Sometimes you try to wake up early and see, just go out, or if possible out of the house, across the street, or from the terrace view the world. Everybody is sleeping, things are so calm. It's a wonderful wonderful atmosphere, if I may say. You know, supposing you have to take a early morning flight or go depart early. You get up at 4 and then you see, oh, how peaceful it is outside, how peaceful it is outside. That aha feeling, that aha feeling is what will motivate you. It is so nice, let me do it.
Yes.
So this is goading the mind and intellect, you know, to do it. So generate this aha feeling, see the advantages and benefits of doing early morning, and then you will be able to do it. So then you will be able to do it at 5. And if you find 5 is a big jump to begin with, then go in steps of, instead of 8, make it 7, or instead of 8, make it 6, and then from 6 you go to 5. Because the body also has to get tuned to it, that revised timing.
No,
so
that's
there are 2 ways.
Get up at 5 anyway. So yeah.
Sorry?
No,
Sorry?
anyway, get up at 5. I have to. So.
Okay. You anyway wake up at 5.
Yeah,
If you anyway wake up 5, then there is that. Then it is a matter of rescheduling or motivating your mind.
Why am I so lazy then? You know.
Lazy is because you're used to doing it. Then what do you do after waking up at 5? Let me understand your schedule.
No. My mother-in-law wakes up at 5. She's 90 years old, so I have to help her at 5 o'clock. So automatically I get up at 5 o'clock anyway.
And then what do you do after that?
After that, till 6 o'clock, she doesn't need any help. So 5 to 6 is there for me. So I don't really sleep. But why am I not using that time to pray? That is my thing. Why am I not doing that extra thing? Because then the whole day becomes little tied up, you know. So
after 6, what happens?
After that, I have to help her. I have to give her coffee. Then my the usual, my husband has to go to work. So we have breakfast and all the stuff. So then, like she's at home, I'm also at home. So I have to help her every 1 hour, 2 hours. So it becomes busy. What I'm saying is morning.
Okay. So 6 to 8 would be, say, preparing breakfast and
yes.
And everybody leaves home. Husband leaves.
Yes.
So after 8, you are free then.
Yes, I can. No, yeah, I also work from home, so I have to sit at
You also work from home.
Yes.
So then, you do it between 8 and 9 is what is you do the vidya.
Yeah, exactly. At 9 o'clock, I have to come down again. I have to help her with her breakfast and all.
And then you have to go to your work.
Yeah, I work from home only, so get paid.
Yeah, from home, but you have to then attend from
No, I
home.
have to cook and everything. So the usual daily routine starts.
So no, I was just trying to understand your schedule.
Yes.
So it's fine. So basically there's nothing big. It's we have got into the groove that I will do things according to this timetable.
Exactly.
So it is only a matter of unsettling or getting out of the groove.
Yes.
You are waking up, you are anyway in time.
Yes.
Then what you should do is, then you should by force do it 2-3 times, 2-3 days or 4. And pray to Dada. Dada, give me the strength to do Prataviti at 5 o'clock. If you pray to Dada and ask for strength, you will get the strength.
Okay.
It is basically forming up the mind. It is basically forming the mind that I want to do it.
Yes.
And once you form up, ask for strength, and for a few days you just do it by force.
By force.
If necessary, drink half a cup of tea or coffee and then do it
Okay.
to remove that sleepiness.
Yes.
So to begin with, I'm not saying make it is a habit, but to begin.
Yes.
And then 5 to 6 once it goes well, and then what will happen is you will be charged. The entire antaskaran has become so well alignment with the pure soul. Then with that state of awareness, with that state of freshness,
Yes.
if you tend to the course of mother-in-law and of breakfast, you will be in an
Exactly.
absolutely different frame of
Yes.
mind, a different level of awareness,
Right.
peace and happiness.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you will also experience that whatever work you do after that, it flows very smoothly,
Yes.
effortlessly, and very nicely. Breakfast get prepared very smoothly and nicely, no mistakes here and there. The mother-in-law also is not winky wonky. She also agrees to whatever you do. Basic activities post Vidi will be so smooth and
Yes.
so
Exactly.
easy that you yourself will feel what otherwise I take 1 hour to do is happening in 45 minutes. So you will
Exactly.
also see the benefits.
Yes.
You will
Yes.
start seeing the
I have to force
benefits.
myself. Yes.
So once the benefits are in front of you, the intellect will automatically say, no, get up at. And the mind will say, chalo, 5 o'clock, get up. So this is how you will be able to retrain your antaskaran into getting up at. Basically, again, it's the mind which is at playing. The mind and intellect are playing a part. That's all.
Okay, I think I'll do that. Yes.
So with all these understandings and in the present scenario work schedule that you have mentioned, this will definitely help you to get up at 5. And a few days of that and seeing the benefits and all, then it's you will do it more and more. And after a few weeks, what will happen is this will be your new pattern. This will be a new view of daily schedule. And then automatically it'll happen. Even if you don't want to do it, if 5 o'clock chalo vide, it'll just run it. It'll happen, it'll happen automatically.
Right.
And then after some time what will happen, unless you do it at 5, you will not feel good also. So you will do it at 5. And for some reason you're not able to get up at 5, say 5:15, 5:30. You will still do the Vidi and then only start your day.
Okay. I will report back next week. I will force myself to do it this weekend. Yes. Thank you so much.
But
Yes.
post with benefits, not grudgingly. With some goal in mind. Yes, I want to get the advantage of doing it in the Brahma Muhurat. I want to get the advantage of being in a fresh of mind. And you will see the benefits, and then I'm sure
Definitely.
it'll become a revised or a new. Okay, JSS.
Deepakanandji? Deepakanandji?
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Shailaji, wake up, do your morning important stuff.
Yes.
Do Surya Namaskar, do Super Brain Yoga, and finish your Nischay Vyavhar Vidhi first. Because that is mandatory, compulsory, every day you must do it. You should be able to do it. That's what I do.
Must do it, yes.
Because that is the mandatory thing. Then during the day, whenever you get time, do it. Fine. The rest of the prayers. But the main
start the day.
Three mantra, if not 5 times, 1 time, and finish your Nischay Vyavhar Charan Vidhi.
Yes.
Because it says you have to do it once a day. Yes. And with your Surya Namaskar, and I believe you do the Super Brain Yoga also. Topu Karnam.
Yes, we do that.
Yes. Do 25 times. If not 25, do 50 times. Really, it helps. I'm not joking.
Yes, I know.
It helps you change your decision into action. How? I don't know. You people know it and you have been practicing, you are practicing. Do that right in the morning. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Thank you so much.
Jai Satchidanand. We are coming up and we'll continue. This was good observation. So let us continue that for another week. Okay, Deepakanandji, can you do another week?
Jai Satchidanand. Namo Vitragai.
Namo Vitragai.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Vachayanam.
Namo Loe Savasahunam.
Namo Loe Sabasahunam.
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Yaso Panchanamukkaro.
Savapavappanasano.
Sarvapavapranasano.
Mangalanam cha Savesim.
Mangalanam cha Savesin.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagwate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai
Jai
Satchidanand.
Satchidanand, Deepakanandji, Pulinanandji, Sarva Bhakta, Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai
Krishna, Jai
Satchidanand
Satchidanand, Meera,
Pulinanandji.
Jai Satchidanand,
Jai
Dr. Arunabhajan, Dr.
Satchidanand.
Krishna, Shailaji, Dr. Kashyapji, Jai Satchidanand, Rani, Jai
Jai
Satchidanand.
Satchidanand. Jai Satchidanand.